Hi, I'm Phileas Steyn and I'm the safari expert. And for the past few months, I've not only had to cover my face every time I leave my house, but I've also been suffering from withdrawal symptoms, having not been able to go on safari. Until a couple of weeks ago, that is, when I joined Africa Geographic CEO Simon Espley and his wife Lizz on assignment in the Timbavati Game Reserve close to where we live here in Hoedspruit. We were hosted by the amazing team from Tanda Tula Safari Camp for 2 nights to get an idea of what a safari might look like if lodges were allowed to open their doors today, and also to get an idea of how the strict health protocols issued by the Tourism Business Council of South Africa influenced the safari experience. The welcome at Tanda Tula was as warm as always, but we did have to wear our masks in the covered lounge, which was designated as a mask-on zone. We also had to complete medical and travel history forms and have our temperatures taken, and each of us received a welcome pack with a bottle of hand sanitizer, alcohol swabs and an extra mask. Now, although the slightly different welcome and the social distancing in camp did take a little bit of time getting used to, it's not that different from the way that we've been living in recent times. I mean, every time I go into town, I've got to wash my hands, wear a mask and do social distancing. One of the biggest differences was the way that meals were served. Tables were separated so only families and groups that traveled together sit together, and there was no space for guides or managers to join. Waiters obviously also wore masks, and food was covered in cloches when served. Luckily, it didn't take anything away from the dining experience, and the food was even better than I remembered. The big question was, how were game drives going to be affected? Well, first of all, families and groups that travel together can all drive on the same vehicle. Otherwise, only 4 people are allowed on the back. 2 in the front row and 2 on the very back. Luckily, because it's an open-air activity, we didn't have to wear our masks. We did, however, have to get our hands sanitized every time we climbed off and back onto the vehicle, even if we stopped for coffee. The actual game drive experience was as wonderful as always. We had the same excitement when you follow up on impala alarm calls and then bump into a leopard walking through the grass. The same up-close and personal experiences that you can only get on an open vehicle safari, and the same excellent guiding we've come accustomed to at places like Tanda Tula. We got our adrenaline rush fix when we followed a pack of wild dogs hunting, and had amazing opportunities to photograph a pride of lions with tiny cubs. And no safari would be the same without the customary coffee stop in the morning and the late afternoon sundowners at one of the local waterholes. Followed, of course, by a night drive back to camp. In fact, this was one of the best safaris I've had in years. I wasn't thinking of medical history forms, hand sanitizers, or masks when we were driving around. All I could think about was how wonderful it was to be back in the bush, searching for animals, and breathing in the crisp morning air. I can't speak for everyone, but lodges like Tanda Tula in the Timbavati are ready for guests to return, and I really hope that that happens sooner rather than later. Of course, you might still have to wear a mask in camp, and social distancing is certainly not going to disappear overnight. But the good news is safaris are still as amazing as always. So my advice to you is this: support the safari industry by traveling as soon as you can. And if you still have some health concerns, book your 2021 trip now, or postpone rather than cancel any safaris you may already have booked. If you'd like to read Simon Espley's article for Africa Geographic, simply follow the link in the description, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments as well. Also take a moment to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and please check out some of the other videos as well.